All right, what's up, everybody? What's going on? Welcome back to Music Biz Mondays. I'm your host, Daric B, along with my co-host B12. What's up, man? How are you?
I'm great. How's everybody doing? Music Biz Mondays is back, and it's our pleasure to introduce a very special guest. All of our guests are special. This is different for us uh, because we're trying to bring some more hands-on stuff for you guys out there. I would like to introduce Yanet Trista. I hope I said it right. From
And
from Sound Royalties. For those of you who don't know, I'm going to let Yanet talk a little bit about that. But they are based in Florida, and they are revolutionizing the monetization of sound royalties, just like it sounds. How you
awesome.
doing tonight?
Good. I'm doing great. It's a little late here in Florida, but we're still going. Well, thank you guys for having me today. Basically, I'm a royalty specialist at Sound Royalties. For those of you that have never heard of the company before, we're a finance firm for the music industry. So we work with anybody that's generating royalties, whether it's a songwriter or a producer, composer, artist, and we simply provide easy access to funding. Whether they're collecting from a PRO or a publisher, a distribution. So yeah, that's what I do in a nutshell.
That's
Cool.
very cool.
So,
hmm
how did you get into the music industry? You're East Coast and Florida based. There's tons and tons of independent music out there. There's tons of major labels out there. What brought you into music?
So I mean, as cliche as it sounds, I love music. I can connect to music. I just really love building relationships with people, which is what this job's really about.
Yep.
I came across Sound Royalties through somebody, mutual in the company. Ask them, hey, is your job hiring, without really knowing much about the music industry. And I got an interview. They love me as well as I love them. And, it's almost 2 years now in October that I'll be with the company.
Wow.
So yeah, it's been, quite a hill, but we're here, and, every day we learn something new because it's an industry that's, constantly changing. And I think it's important to stay up to date and, find out the different ways that you can grow within.
Right,
True.
right. Now, there's a lot of people who are out of business, out of work. This COVID-19 affected the music industry, in a big way. Um, what are kind of give us a rundown, because I know some people have asked me, because I've participated with the company and still am.
Mhm.
They've asked me, okay, so do I give up my rights, or am I still independent? How does that work?
Yeah, so that's a good question. One of the main things that we stand by is that at all times you remain with the rights to your music and you remain independent. So it's simply, just advancing on monies that are due to you based on how you've been performing. But the interesting part about our service is that we don't recoup at 100% rate. So
Am I still independent?
most advances, they give you X amount of money, but you don't see anything come in until everything has been fully paid off. So here we just work with a portion of what's coming in to ensure that they still have money.
Yeah, and so for me, it was a great deal for me, because uh, about half the year I used to pay back my advance, and then the other half, the check came straight to me. So that was pretty good. I know there are other companies out there who do similar things as far as money, and you know putting it against their music, but the artist stays 100% owner of the music. It's not you're not giving up any percentage of ownership here. It's just kind of like a loan against your future royalties.
Right, exactly. Except it's not credit based. So, it's not based on your credit score. It doesn't interfere with any future financing.
Wow.
It's based on the royalty performance. So, we take a look at each catalog very uniquely. We take into consideration the genre, the diversity of the catalog, how long it's been out for, any industry trends. And then, based on all those different factors, we'll lay out different funding options that they qualify for, which is another huge thing. A lot of people ask, what do you charge? It's different working with a catalog that has one song that's relying on it to perform, versus a catalog that has 50 songs that are evergreen, right? Risk there is totally different. So, I always tell them, if I told you, I'd be lying, just because, everything is so uniquely created. But every single option that we, present to the creatives is, it has different pricing embedded. So it's up to them to pursue, what makes the most sense for them and what they're looking to accomplish.
Wow. So I kind of that kind of speaks to something that Daric has always been preaching, and I do as well. We're in an industry now that so changes so much, and this probably applies to you guys as well. From what you're saying, content is king. If somebody has one song they're relying on, unless it's Old Town Road, it's probably a little hard to fully capitalize off of the services you guys have available. So people who have a lot of product, well, we say product in the old school industry, but a lot of digital
Titles.
IPs, and they have more opportunity based on what you're saying to have a better kind of structured deal. Is that what I'm taking away from this?
Well, not necessarily. We've worked with people in the past that only have, let's say, let's call it 3 statements or, 5 months worth of history. We have different, different tools that allow us to see how a song is going to project. But I was relating it into, pricing, right? If you were to, let somebody, let's say, borrow money that, doesn't really have a job, obviously you're not going to, provide them too much money versus somebody that does have a job. You know what I mean?
Like, how are we going to get this money back?
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, because we take the money directly from the account. So since it's not a sale or anything, it's simply an assignment. So, the payments come to us for the time of our agreement. So it's not like they have to worry about, sending us a check every month or every quarter. We recoup directly, and then, any monies that are due to send to you, we send over to the desired account.
This is good information. So I want to put a footnote. This is for our viewers, not so much for discussion. We'll discuss assignment versus factoring later on in another episode, everybody, because I think this new way that you guys are doing it, there are some people who have come to me and said, well, that sounds like a factoring company. And in fact, it's not, because you guys aren't charging against invoices. You guys are actually, like you said, tailor making these plans. Moving on to, I'm an artist, or I'm a label, I'm a content creator. What's the application process like?
So it's really easy. The first step is to fill out a quick application that takes about a minute or two, first name, last name, and checking off a box so we can keep everything confidential. And then from there on, it's up to the creative whether they want to provide the logins for the account or the last 3 years of statements. And, once that's in, I submit it. And then, typically in about 3 to 4 business days, we can have some different options for them.
Yeah.
Wow.
So here are the basic requirements for anybody interested in thinking about wanting to get a royalty advance. You're going to need to be earning at least $5,000 a year. And that could come from your distributor, that could come from Sound Exchange, that could come from ASCAP. Now, Yanet, can it come from all 3 of the, or how many sources can it come from?
So it can come from any source, but it's not collectively, right? So it has to be 5,000 on Empire or on ASCAP or DistroKid, right? So not collectively.
Okay.
Right. Yeah, I imagine that would be a tedious process for you guys to do
For the
assignment.
Right?
Yeah, for all of those things.
Yeah.
And then it probably has some legal ramifications for you guys to be involved in all of those different revenue streams at once rather than one.
Right, but we can work with all 3. Let's say generating 5,000. I can show them different options for all 3 of them, and then if they say, hey, I just want to work with my Empire and still have, my BMI flowing through to me, that's always an option too.
Yeah.
Right. That's an important footnote, I think. So we have a lot of artists who follow us, but also that's important for our producers. You guys who produce, who write, who
Mhm.
compose, please understand that you don't necessarily have to be releasing your own music through
Right.
Empire or through DistroKid. You can be doing this through your BMI, through your other production deals that you have. Even, can I ask, is there a difference to you guys whether or not it's a major label system or an independent system? Is it all just numbers for you guys?
Yeah, honestly, yes and no, just because with the PROs, such as ASCAP, BMI, CSAC, we can go out up to 5 years in the agreement.
Wow.
But with distributors or Sound Exchange, we limit it to 3, right?
Okay. Okay.
But we should have options that run for a year, 3 years, 5, right? Depending on what we feel comfortable with and what we're
Wow.
looking to accomplish.
Wow. That's awesome.
Cool. So, if anyone is thinking about applying for a royalty advance, what we recommend is hit me up or hit B12 up, and we'll walk you through the whole process. And we're just going to make sure that we're not wasting Yanet's time. If you're ready and you qualify, we'll definitely let you know. So go
Yeah,
ahead and contact us first.
yeah, we're not going to stand in anybody's way. Daric has done this before. Actually, he's a huge proponent of sound royalties, and we've been excited about this conversation for a while because you guys bring something different to the industry. As the industry has changed from brick and mortar to digital,
Mhm.
people have had to adapt. And one of those adaptations, we have some people who have exclusively existed in this digital realm that we're in now, and then we have a bunch of our, we like to say old school heads that are coming over. But it's fascinating to see, Daric, you've seen some people take advantage of these programs that didn't think they could, right?
Oh no, absolutely. It's and here's what do I instruct before you apply is let's talk about what you're gonna do with the money first, and
Well said.
it's not just a payday. It's not just an advance. It's connected to your royalties. So I recommend having a plan, and if you need help figuring out what you could do with your investment, then talk to us first. But I know that you guys have also worked with huge artists, big artists. So uh, tell us a little about who are the big artists you've worked with.
Yeah, so I mean, a lot of what we do is private and confidential. As you can imagine, most
Sure,
people like to
sure.
remain private about their finances. But some people that we have worked with that you may be familiar with, DJ Khaled. We did a partnership with Pitbull, Wycliffe, Lil Wayne, and I work really closely with producers. But those are some people that we've worked with that we can share. On our website, there is a tab that says testimonials. So you guys can feel free to check that out, and as well as our Instagram. I think we have a couple.
Yeah, I was just gonna say you're able to share that information because these people have come out on their own and
Mm-hmm.
endorsed the product, right? Is
Right.
that fair enough?
Exactly.
Because
Mm-hmm.
you're no different than a bank manager. You can't tell us who opened a bank account at your branch.
Yep.
But if that person comes out and says, "Hey, man, I just went with Chase and they gave me a toaster for opening my bank account," then
Mm-hmm.
now it's fair play. And I imagine these relationships that you have, and I saw those on your site. You said Wyclef. I imagine those folks too are telling it from the mountain as well because it benefits them and it shows that they're kind of cutting edge, right? I mean, it's an exclusive game that we deal with, and I think a lot of these, especially the names you named, which are all superstars, they like to be in the cutting edge, the beginning of things, and so that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Uh,
No, and just
there,
to back on what you said, I think it's very important to have a plan too. Sometimes I speak with these people, and my main focus is, yes, it takes money to make money, but don't really think about what it's going to cost you. Just think about what it's going to make you, right?
right.
So, what you're going to invest this money in, how much your last project made you. If your last project made you X amount of money, this one with the reach that you have, it's going to make you, this much. So it's really important to, have a game plan. Otherwise, you're just simply, getting an advance.
Right. And in the hip hop world, which is our background, there was an old adage, E40 said it: "Don't buy an $85,000 car before you buy a house." And
Exactly.
and I think that's the thing, right? We used to get these advances for these record deals. Sometimes they were exorbitant advances, sometimes they weren't really based in anything reality wise. The really cool thing about Sound Royalties is not only are you guys based in reality, but it's realistic for people who, I mean, the number $5,000 is a very realistic number.
Mhm.
Everyone doesn't make $100,000 a year off their
Right.
creations. So to be able to work with you guys at that level shows you guys have an innate understanding for what we're doing here. This is truly like a creator friendly business.
Right.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
kudos to you guys for that. I have a question. It's not really in our topics, but um, as this world transitions to being mostly tech stuff, because of where we exist, do
Mhm.
you guys consider yourself music business or a tech play or a financial play, or is it all of them in one?
I would honestly say it's a mix. Because it's not just finance, like, here's some money and goodbye, right? It's
Right.
relationship building. If, I know Daric, I have a great relationship with Daric. If I come across somebody that says, hey, can you connect me with Daric, or vice versa, that I have a relationship with, I'm more than happy to make that connection. And, it's all about building relationships. And we have a marketing department that creates videos for people that are, nearby, right? If somebody's in Miami, we'll go with our videographer and, do some content. We have a PR agency, that we can connect people with and talk about them, not so much about how was Sound Royalties, but talk about the next project that they've got in mind and, their creative process and all of that.
Yeah,
So
because clearly it benefits you guys if their stuff's doing well.
it's a
I
win-win.
mean, and vice versa. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Very cool.
How long does the whole process take? Would you say?
Yeah. So, I mean, from start to finish, I would say 2 to 3 weeks. Once we receive the application, we have some numbers about 3 to 4 business days. There are special case scenarios. But let's say, I show the artist the options. They say, hey, I'm ready to move forward. I get the agreement for them, get it signed. My underwriter has about a day or so to review the file, right? Make sure nothing's pending. And then we would send it off to confirmation for, the entity, right? The and then from there on, once we receive the okay from them, we get it funded. So I would say on average, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Give or take.
Okay, and I just want to let people know, if you get approved for a royalty advance, then just keep in mind that the money is coming from you. It's your money. It's just money being fronted to you. So don't look at it as you got an advance. Look at it as you got a loan from yourself. Um,
Wow.
that's how I do it. That's how I explain it, because it's, at the end of the day, it's your money. It's just taking a little longer for you to get to if you had not used the royalty service. So, if you qualify, please contact us. We're going to definitely talk, and we'll make sure you have an idea of what you can do with the money. And like Brandon said, B12, we, being in hip hop, we always think of the re-up. And so the re-up
Yep.
is, we got 10 grand. We need to take a piece of that money to make another 10 grand. And then
That's right.
the rest of the money we invest into promotions and marketing. But, that's something we've always preached. And it's something you guys need to know about. Like, the money is yours. Don't take advantage of yourself, is what I'm saying. You guys still with me?
Good. Do the last
Oh,
bit.
here we go. We're back. All right, everybody. We got cut off there. We're back. I forgot what I was saying or what was going on, but yeah, like, it's your money, so make sure you use it wisely and respect what your plan is going to be, because like I said, you're borrowing it from yourself. Sound Royalties is just helping you make that plan happen a lot quicker. I think we covered pretty much everything I wanted to speak about.
I got a question.
Sure.
And I guess I mean, it's pretty simple. I mean, you mentioned CSAC earlier as one of the PROs. Does that mean, because CSAC deals with a lot more international stuff, do you guys deal with international distributors? And so Empire's counterpart in, Belgium, I don't know who it is, but you guys can work with all types of, currencies and areas.
So that's a good question, and that we kind of played on a case by case scenario.
Gotcha.
But I have worked with artists and where their distributions in Jamaica or Canada,
Right.
the UK recently started working with. So
Nice.
kind of I never want to shy away from saying I don't want to look at this account. I always like to submit it and see if we're if we feel comfortable working with them. So we typically do a little bit of research and see how long they've been in business for. And if it's a connection like Empire that you mentioned, then most likely we can work with that. I don't like to
Sure.
make promises, but something I always like to use is if you asked us who TuneCore was a couple of years ago, we would say who, and a lot of our deals come from TuneCore now. So
That's cool.
mhm.
That's
Yeah.
important. That's it. I think that's important for a lot of our creators to know that, because I think there is an element in this industry of exclusivity where some people regard you haven't made it until you're at a major label or at a mini major like Empire. But the truth is, DistroKid and TuneCore give us, I don't know the percentages, but they give us a ton of the music that we hear.
Mhm.
In fact, I don't know, I could be wrong, Daric. Wasn't Old Town Road originally from DistroKid? One of those big singles,
Uh,
was or TuneCore, like he had put it up
EPP
himself.
on there.
yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's important for people to know. A lot of our viewers and our friends and even clients we work with in our consulting, they're getting started, but they're starting to see some numbers, but they're at the TuneCores and the DistroKids. So it's an even playing field, everybody. We're in an industry now where we keep saying it. You're the same as the next guy. If you're on Universal Music Group, your music gets distributed to the same platforms if you're at DistroKid.
Or CD Baby.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Shout out CD Baby. Sure.
Okay, quick. We got another question that just came in from Daryl Jr. He says, "What's a good royalty amount to give you leverage with labels?" So I think it's based on your performance already. So
Yeah.
run that down for us again. How do you determine how much an artist could get?
Mhm. So again, everything is determined uniquely, right? I've seen two catalogs that earn the exact same money, but once we do the analysis that we do, what we're able to provide is different. The genre goes in, the diversity of the catalog. Is it a new song? Is it a seasoned catalog, right? All those different factors will play out, what we're able to provide. So it's really on a case by case scenario.
Cool. Okay, well, B12, do you have any last minute questions?
Yanet, what's your favorite artist, or who's your favorite artist?
My favorite artist is Khalid.
Khalid. Okay.
So it's like R&B soul.
Sure.
It's just really relaxing. It's for like every mood that I'm in. It's just I could play a Khalid song. I don't really have to think about it. Sometimes you're like, what do I want to listen to? And you can't think of anything. Khalid's my go-to person.
That didn't take you long to answer either, so we know
No.
that's very,
Mhm.
very
It's
true to your
organic.
heart. We ask everybody.
Khalid, if you're watching this.
Get a hold of Yanet. We appreciate you taking some time. We know it's late out there, and we know that the nature of your business probably isn't as well. Like I said, you can't talk about as certain things, but we appreciate you disclosing so much, because it's very rare that our viewers and our network gets to interface with people that are making it happen on the other end, and that's what we're trying to bring them. So thank you again.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for having me.
We have
Appreciate
a lot of our viewers are not young viewers. We have a lot of established artists who have pretty large catalogs.
Yep.
And for those of you guys who are watching, please get a hold of us, and we'll walk you through this process if you're in need of some financial assistance. Yanet, thank you for joining us. If anyone's interested, please, the last thing I could say is contact me and B12 first. And then if you are ready to go, we'll pass you on to Yanet and get the process started for you guys.
Sounds good. And before I go, something I'd like to point out is that, what we do is no commitment. So I can run the numbers and, if it doesn't make sense at the moment, we can always revisit. So something to keep in mind as well.
It's not like buying a car.
Exactly. You walk in and you have to leave with a car.
That's right. And also, everybody, just because our main format and platform is Facebook, please go like Sound Royalties page. I've posted it in our Music Biz Mondays. And go like it, go check it out. Go to their website, soundroyalties.com, all spelled out normal, no hyphens. And there's a ton of testimonials, videos. There's a bit about all of the staff, the founders, and there's some great tutorials and tips and stuff, some article links on there as well that are invaluable that we'll also be posting in Music Biz Mondays.
All right. Thank you, guys. We'll talk to you on the next episode. Yanet, have a great night. Sorry it's so late.
Good night, Yanet. Thanks again for staying up for us.
Thank you, guys. Talk soon.
Have a good one.